Hi everyone, Katya Martinova, your empowerment coach and energy healer here, doing another Akashic Records reading for the collective. I'm actually really excited. I'm gonna do a reading and healing today on the topic of financial abundance, which I have never done before. So we will see what comes through. I'm very curious. So let's start. As always, I will say a quick prayer to open the Akashic Records, and then we will begin. Can you show me how we can reach another level of financial abundance? Each of us, and as a collective, what are some tips for reaching financial abundance? That's interesting. I see. Okay. So I see something spinning, and we as humans are very captivated by this thing that's spinning. It's almost looking like a satellite dish, but it's deeper. Like it has curvier sides. And the message that I am getting is that there's too much emphasis on money, which would ring true for most of us because a lot of us feel like we wish that money didn't exist, so it wouldn't have control over our lives. Or we feel like we constantly have to be thinking about money because this is just the reality of this world. So thing number one is to try to come back to this remembering that money is not everything that is. Money is not the most important thing in the world, so we have to detach that big value to financial abundance. That's actually very cool guidance. And that would look different for all of us. For example, an example from my own experiences when I started doing life coaching and energy healing, a lot of times I also want to get energy healing from other experts. And just because it's fun, it's something that helps me grow. It helps me wake up to different aspects of me. But, sometimes it's not a priority. Sometimes it costs a lot of money. And so what I have found useful is going back to the basics and remembering exchange, like exchanging goods for goods, right? So I wasn't directly paying them or people who wanted to have a session with me and didn't have the means to do so. We found a way to do an exchange. So they could share some knowledge or expertise with me and I would do a session for them, or if it's another energy healer, we would exchange sessions. So what are some ways that you can think of where we can detach so much value from money and see what other ways we can find to be at the level where we want to be? Maybe it's like physical objects that you like to put around your house, but you don't feel like you have the money to do so, or you want to travel, but you know only of the traditional way to travel where you pay for a flight. But there are other ways to make these things happen without just straight up using money in the sense that we're used to using them. So definitely think about that. Do research, because you will be surprised how much there is that will be available to you as a result of that. Can you share more guidance on reaching the next level of financial abundance? Another interesting thing is what I'm being shown. It's almost like, so I'm sitting in an area in Arizona among canyons where there are a lot of geodes where you can find crystals inside. And what I'm being shown is like money is something as a collective that we are holding on to. It's like, my precious thing, my precious thing, my precious thing. And we need to find a way to, again, kind of let go and see what we can learn about ourselves when we stop crying over money, we stop stressing over money. And I know it's easier said than done, but imagine that money is an object or a person, and you're holding on to them very, very tightly. How would that make you feel? Like if you're constantly afraid to let go, that means your body is tensing up. And if it's a, let's say it's like a kitten or, you know, something very precious to you, but it's a living creature, that would suffocate them. So this is not a healthy relationship to be in. It's almost like a toxic relationship where one person wants to get out and one person is not letting them. So how can you change your relationship with money in a way where it's more like equals? You don't feel like you depend on it. You don't feel like it's this hand that's trying to pull you out of, you know, an abyss. Whatever it would be for you, try to think of your relationship with money. And what has been helpful to me is imagining money as a being, like a human being. What would they look like? How do I talk to them? How do I interact with them? Do I feel like an equal? Do I feel like this person is superior than me, or do I feel like I experience or feel a lot of hate towards them, but then I also want to have it and like hold on to it tightly? So reevaluate your relationship with money and see what kinds of insight it will bring. What I'm hearing right away is that a lot of viewers will say, oh, again, you know, there's something that we have to be doing. Like, I'm so tired of doing. But what I am sensing right now, coming from the Akashic Records, is that yes, that's true. You will have to do the work, and I have to be doing the work. So it's not about, you know, sitting still and money just keeps coming to you for no reason. There has to be a meaning behind it. There has to be like a passion behind it, because money comes when the person is willing to put in the work, but not the kind of work that we are taught to be doing, like, oh, go work at a factory for, I don't know, 12 14 hours, whatever those incredibly long shifts are. But no, working meaning building a relationship with money where you feel like you're putting in the meaningful work that lights you up, that expands you. This also goes along with actually ditching things that you don't like. If you hate your job, start working towards finding something better. And do not stop at, I've already tried, I've applied to 50 jobs, nothing worked out. Then start working on, again, changing your relationship with money, not chasing after it, not clinging to it. So just that will elevate your vibration to a different level, because you will be viewing money very differently. So then other kinds of opportunities, other kinds of thoughts, other kinds of creative ideas will come to you. So you will pursue the whole job search or career change or whatever it might be in a completely new way. So I hope that makes sense. So go deeper. It's not about, I'm a human, I need money to survive. Go deeper. What do I feel about money? What's my relationship with money? How do I feel compared to money, in relation to money? Am I here? Am I there? Really assess those things, see where you're at, and then define where you want to be. What is the final guidance for us today to achieve a new level of financial abundance? Please show me. In one of my previous videos, it has come through that it's very important to mourn whatever it is that happened. So this is what I am being shown again. What I mean by mourning, you can check out that video too, but also because you're here and now, what mourning means is think of so far what it has been like in your life, the money situation, the facts of life when it comes to money, and mourn those past experiences, which will give you closure, which means that you will not continue carrying those things with you as if they are still alive, as if they are still actively, working in your life. It's a huge transformation when you stop carrying those things with you, like dragging them along without realizing, but you mourn like, okay, I grew up in a poor family. I've seen my parents fight about money. I'm so sick and tired of dealing with money, or I feel stuck, like my childhood was okay, but I just feel stuck. Those thoughts are based on your past experiences, everything that has happened until now. So it's important to just sit with it, mourn it, and say, okay, this part of my life is over. I don't need to continue dragging it along with me moving forward. I don't know, you can like envision almost like having like a little funeral or some sort of ritual for that, and just get that closure inside that it's done. It's done. And then make new choices, make new decisions, feel differently about things related to money moving forward from this moment on. It's going to be a very powerful transformation, and I'm going to go and do the same because I definitely have some situations from the past that I need to mourn. Wow, what incredible guidance. Thank you so much. I'm going to close the Akashic records now. Thank you. So take this guidance and make the best of it. Again, from the place of love, from the place of acceptance, from the place of peace and excitement about the future. Let those negative feelings continue being dormant. You don't have to engage in those things anymore. I hope this has been helpful and timely for you. And I was so excited to do this reading and healing from this beautiful place in Arizona, US. And I will see you next time.